Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for what could be the final live game of this split until the LAN featuring Pandemonium and Tainted Minds. My name is Sam Jackal, and I'm joined by Links again for Sing Gaming versus Direwolves, game number 2. And Sing Gaming, they have their work cut out to really overpower this resurgent Direwolf squad.
Yes, and that's going to start with they really need to make sure they draft correctly, because last game got out-drafted in almost every single lane imaginable. Even though they drafted early and Direwolves drafted late, their prowess was just too much for Sin Gaming to handle.
And as we said before, both these teams locked in for their current positions of 3rd and 5th, respectively, for Direwolves and Sin Gaming. So nothing to play for except for pride. A bit of janky picks as we're going to go into the picks and bans. We'll have to see who gets what as we're going to go straight in on your screen right now. Sin Gaming going to be the order side for this side, and Direwolves going to be the chaos.
Yes, and first ban coming through, we see Soul coming out from Sin Gaming. It keeps seeming to wanting to ban this. I think last game it may have been Direwolves, but still, Soul being the key contention of banning. Even though we know Agony can play a good Soul, they just don't want Kikirimi to play another carry Hunter style god.
And that's exactly the point that we were saying. Both the mid laners have shown very adept proficiency right now and on that Soul character going into this final game. Kepri going to be banned away, meaning he's been banned / picked in all but one game so far, continuing on that hot streak of his. Athena should be joining him very soon, as Sin Gaming going to ban out Thor, actually.
Yes, after Maxon's incredible performance early, Sin Gaming have had enough of Maxon's reign of terror. They just want it to end. Direwolves banning out the Chiron, making sure they're trying to take away as much lane aggression from the duo lane of Sin Gaming as possible.
Now, switching over to Sin Gaming. We're interested to see what they pick up. Athena is, of course, open. They could look for another pick like the Odin or Guan Yu. Could look to try and run that back, but it's instead going to be the Neath pickup for Sin Gaming. Really, they may look to give that back to Agony as a safe mid lane option.
I'm actually thinking more on Temple, because last game they gave him an ADC that had 0 pressure, and this game they might be looking, especially in their duo lane, to actually bring the pressure back and force Direwolves to be on the back foot. However, Odin and Athena coming out, that's going to be very hard to pressure early by Sin Gaming.
Yeah, just Odin jungle, Athena support, really enough gank potential coming out from a massive bird bomb there to really just kill absolutely anybody. Raijin being drafted for the mid lane and Najal for the jungle. Raijin being picked up here by Sin Gaming hasn't really shown enough merit to really be a top pick in recent weeks.
I kind of like that pick, just simply because you have a way of getting out of the Odin cage, which most mid laners can't say they can do, like Agony. Agony is I love Agony. He's like one of the most balanced gods in the game, and his ultimate costs 0 mana. That's very few gods have the ability to spam spells for 0 mana.
And the sub are going to be banned away by Direwolves, headed to the second banning phase. Option back over to Sin Gaming. I imagine they're going to look to ban out ADCs here. If they're going to put underneath there, and it's going to be the Medusa ban. Really just shutting down that combo of Athena Medusa, taunt into Stone Gates, guarantees the stun, which guarantees basically death.
Yes, Athena combined with any aggressive Hunter early will spell death, as you mentioned. They are now banning out Geb, though. They don't want Neath to be able to get a nice stone shield, get out of the taunt, and force Athena to be stuck there. However, Sin Gaming ban out the Hui that Kikirimi was so dominant on in the last game.
Yeah, but given that he's got the Agni already for the mid lane, this really targeted at the Hunter instead. So Direwolves back over to them. It's going to be... That's a Cupid.
Yes, we both see that. That is a Cupid. The thing is, this actually might work, just because Richard Castle and Yada are so aggressive early. If you get a taunt, it's a hard bomb. Even then, that's a pretty nice mez on the end bed, and actually pick up some pretty nice kills. So I'm very excited now for the duo lane.
And Osiris and Ymir picked up for Sin Gaming to round out what could be considered a very beefy lineup. Doesn't really have the greatest of late games, so really relying on Raijin and Najal to get enough combo potential between themselves. Final pick up over on the side of Direwolves. Going to be Guan Yu left for very last.
Yes, the Guan Yu Odin again being picked up. This time, though, it's on the side of Direwolves. We saw last game Sin Gaming couldn't really use it to its full advantage, but Direwolves, as we saw last game, had such great early pressure. Now with the comp with even more early pressure, this is going to be bloodshed if my noses are correct.
I'm going to go straight into the game. Sin Gaming versus Direwolves. Sin Gaming, they're going to be the order side this time. 4K in the solo lane with Osiris. HS247 in the jungle with Naja. Agony with the mid lane Raijin. Horizon and Temple combining for the dual lane of Ymir and Neath.
And on the side of Direwolves, which is on the red side, which is the red health bars, as well as the right hand side of your spectator UI, we have Ogre on the Guan Yu in the solo lane, Maxin in the jungle on Odin, Kikirimi playing Agony in the mid lane, and your duo lane, Richard Castle and Yara playing Athena and Cupid respectively.
Horizon's tilting me already. He's built his watches gifted his second item slot.
And he's actually, the thing is though, I'm happy he's built a sprint, because Ymir, he's basically the embodiment of a glacier. Very big, very tanky, but moves so slowly. He has Sylvanas syndrome, and if he gets caught out, that could spell disaster, especially with a taunt and a hard bomb. So picking up the sprint just allows him to get away from any slow, anything that could force him to be stuck dealing with that Athena and the Cupid.
It's also a great counter to the Cupid, as you're about to say, because of that Fields of Love, it can be countered by Sprint, it can be countered by Sanctuary, it can be countered by Beads. It's such an easy ultimate to counter with actives, so this Sprint is really what he's really building it for. Minis have spawned, and no mid camps have been even touched by either team just yet.
Yeah, both teams are very careful of each other. I feel like both teams could actually easily first blood each other. Osiris and Neja is a very devastating with the Spirit Flail and Ring Toss, and you have the Lunge as well as the Tallow Assault from the side of Direwolves. Both just really just don't want to face off and waste potions.
Kikimiya just dashing through the wave, gonna get hit by the Sash, taking a lot of damage though. Raichu popped on top of him as well, but he can't quite proc it, can Agony for that big burst of damage. Kikimiya lives.
And over in the duo lane, Richard Castle actually getting very low as Horizon is body blocking while Temple applies that auto attack damage.
I was getting hit by the Burn Bomb as Horizon, the stun is good. No taunt available to Richard Castle just yet. One more creep needed before he hits that level 3. And when he does hit that level 3, you know Horizon's going to have to play a lot more defensively than he has been.
Over in the mid lane though, Kikyo Miru getting extremely low as well as Agony. Maxon chasing with that Raven Shield, and this might be first blood.
No, it's not, because he took a bit of damage whilst in that Raven Shield, so will not have that extra 25% bonus damage back over to the duo lane. Yada getting pressured out now. Horizon and Temple really showing just how effective a Ymir and Neath lane can be. Good route onto Yada.
And in the solo lane, Ogre already extremely low as Fonke, with that a lovely attack speed progression that Osiris just is known for with the Spirit Flail, is just way better than the Tallow Assault coming out from Ogre, as well as the fact that it's very mana heavy cost.
He's such a lane bully, is Osiris, and he literally gets the Spirit Flail again onto only good at solo. He's not going to be able to find the Sickle Strike there. It's such a tough lane for only good at solo right now, considering he's just going to get poked out consistently by Fonke.
Have a look in the mid lane though, HS247 just looking for that sneaky sash onto the tower, just seeing if he can inspire Kikyo Miyu, but in the end, after waiting a couple seconds, decides to give up, tries to land the ring toss, and is failed.
Well, I think Agony's position now really gave the game away. He's positioned himself very aggressively next to the wave, which he wouldn't really do against an Odin and Agony unless help was nearby. So, potential good spot there by Direwolves, as Ymir looking for a potential rotation to the mid lane. We're going to be taunt missed there from Richard Castle into Temple Wolf.
I don't think we've actually mentioned this, but Agony has gone a very strange build. Normally you see the ancient power piece picked up. Instead he's gone into the Imperial helmet just because he knows he's up against the Odin, and Odin early, especially with a red pot, you're going to get melted very early.
Oh, Yada's dash has been interrupted there in the duo lane. The good route, a good freeze as well. It's not going to be enough as Agony picks up Maxon in the mid lane for first blood, even though the cage went down.
As an HS247 walks out with a sliver of health, and now Sin Gaming looking to steal the balls on the side, on the duo side near Direwolves back camps.
Yeah, just again, Odin falls down for first blood. Fortunately for him, he did not have power potion this time, so it's not as great as it was in the last time when he fell down for first blood.
And now over in the solo lane, Ogre getting slow there plus the Judgment Tether. However, Fonke is actually one level behind Ogre, so he's just been making sure he's gotten every single creep and tried his best to get that single ball in the solo lane now that it remains instead of the two after patch.
Yeah, it's very important to make sure you get the balls as often as possible, as well as rotate for experience for the blue buff, simply because if you manage to get those balls on cooldown, you can get a level ahead of your opponent on the 4th rotation. They really do give a lot of experience, if you manage to pick up all 8 balls.
Yeah, and usually what you see is in the duo lane, usually you start to see people, once they hit about level 5, you start rotating over to mid, they want to start pressuring over in the mid lane. However, just because it's been so aggressive early by either side, they've been just so stubborn to leave. However, they are now starting to actually rotate over to those mid camps that have now spawned on the left-hand side.
Thursday playtime finished up for Agony, so 30 physical protection, 45 magical power, as well as 15 penetration. He's losing a bit of mobility, given that he doesn't move as fast as 4K, potentially going to get ganked here by Maxon. The Spirit form is down for Fonke. They're going to try and force out his Lord of the Afterlife, and there it goes over the top. Oh, but the ultimate goes only good at solo. He's going to find the stun and finds the kill to Fonke to level the score at 1-1.
Orga was so close to dying there. What probably saved them was that Talon Assault, because what Talon Assault does, you essentially steal protections from the target, and Osiris even early on is quite tanky indeed.
Oh, Richard Castle going to get frozen there, going up into the air with HS247 for 4 shots. Agony waiting on the bottom as well as Horizon. The combos are real. Horizon picks up Richard Castle and Kiki Emil looking for the return kill. One basic attack is all that's needed, but he cannot find it. Puts himself in a bad situation. Temple Wolf falls down to Yada. Meanwhile, HS247 going to fall. He's going to pick up Kiki Emil. He's looking to fall down to Maxon though, as he does pick up the kill in the cage. Give himself 5 extra physical power.
However, Fonke doesn't want to give him that free physical power. That will cost you, and that will be your life. Having a look at our graphs after the scoreboard is now 4-3. It is only 52 experience and 654 gold. A very, very different game for both Direwolves and Sing Gaming compared to the last one.
Yes, and now, well, Fonke just taking a bit of experience there away from Agony. Make sure he splits that up efficiently. And, well, Agony's a mid lane. He's going to be used to his teammates coming in there, taking his gold, taking his farm. Because he splits pretty much everything with the jungler and support anyway.
Yeah, but that's kind of what you want, because therefore, otherwise your support starts falling further behind, your jungler starts falling further behind, and then you just lose all your teamfight presence. Especially, you want that Naja to be hitting lead early, because the fact is, he can crit on the sash. Like, the amount of damage that comes out
on
from
the left-hand side, Temple Wolf going to get taunted under tower. The dash from Cupid has already been used. And Horizon going to turn his attention to Richard Castle, find a lot of damage with that freeze and the slow. The basic attack from Ymir doing double damage thanks to his passive. No wall available to him, but it's going to go straight into a sash from HS247. Richard Castle falls down to the jungler of Direwolves.
Yes, and that what you saw was Ymir passive coming through. So basically, if Ymir applies an ability to an enemy god, what happens is each basic attack afterwards does double damage.
Yeah, and there we go. Maxon. Raven Shout is already down. Lunge is down as well. Oh, Windfire Will's completely whiffed there by Sin Gaming's HS247. And now Maxon coming back in. Good blink over the wall. And now the Oda Cage comes down as well as the Athena ultimate. Take a lot of damage HS247. But Temple Wolf got a bright Venturing Castle. Kiki Emir killing HS247. He feels the lava come down, but going to stun nobody. Instead, just forcing retreat out. Horizon taking so much damage. Going to fall down as Maxon dies to Agony. Now Yada are trying to retreat. Good stun there from Kiki Emir. Top comes Agony. Good route there from Temple Wolf to look to continue the aggression. How long until dash for Kikyo Mio is up right now, so he's going to dash away. He's actually going to put a bit of damage back onto Agony. Good aggression.
And now Orga's rotated over, and he is not happy that his friend was hurt that badly with the Cavalry Assault. However, the Thunder Clash there, allowing him to escape. Temple, however, being now the focus of aggression.
Only Good Solo is completely out of mana, and they can look to aggress onto him here. A lot of damage, a lot of slow coming out from Fonke. Basic attacks are coming down very aggressively. Richard Castle with a good taunt, but it's not enough to stop the stun coming out. One more basic attack is all it needed. Fonke picks up Only Good Solo.
Having a look at our play damage charts, we see that actually Temple, surprising, is at the top of the charts. Actually, no, I'm actually, scratch that. After that extremely aggressive duo lane, that actually really does not surprise me. Followed by Kiko Miri. He's been doing an incredible job landing those meteors and stun combination as well. Just, I feel a lot of people forget how his dash actually does quite a lot of damage over time. You think it's just, oh, it's just a dash, it's a small little dot. No, that dot can be the death of you.
And I remember back in the days of just the beginning of Season 2, when the penetration was removed from Shooter the Magi, 40% CDR mages were a thing. And what that allowed Agony to do was dash aggressively and defensively in fights, really putting pressure onto absolutely anybody who came up against him. And now the mid lane grouping for 3 members is not going to be easy for Direwolves to get into this lane, jump over from Maxon. The freeze is going to be off the mark from Horizon. They're going to look to aggress on the Ymir for that misplay.
However, the Raiden on Kiki Ymir, he doesn't be careful if he does get caught out by Acne, because Raiden right now is still quite OP. Even though you might not see him win a lot, he can output a lot of bursts no matter what stage of the game it is. Ogre is now rotating over to the mid lane to provide a little bit of extra help, but the ward will spot him out.
Yeah, they're going to make sure they play this defensively, as a 4v3 is not something they can take. Instead, they're going to allow Fonke to really punish the rotation, but a good taunt and a good cage. HS247 going to fall down before he can take Maxon into the air. They're going to take him down. Horizon using his shots of ice defensively, making sure there's his own potential there to get them away from Agony. Fonke under rotation as well, forcing the dash to Kikiyomio. Good stun there from the Noxious Fumes, combining with that Ash.
Yeah, that was a shame. Fonke was a bit too
but in the duel delayed, sorry. Temple Wolf.
No, that's absolutely fine. This game has just been kill after kill after kill, non-stop fighting. This is the kind of OC meta I love to see. Great talk coming out from Richard Castle.
And a good freeze to boot from Horizon. Really just trying to turn this aggression back around. Maxon taking a lot of damage in the stun there from Fonke. Judgment Tether was good enough. But Yada and Templewolf, they fought tooth and nail, and, well, Templewolf coming out on top by virtue of literally a basic attack.
Yes, that is not surprising, simply because Neath has actually 8 stacks over Cupid on the Transcendence. That will make the difference between you being able to kill them or not. Especially with Neath, that Spirit Arrow, even though the Hard Bomb is quite a good nuke, the Spirit Arrow is just so good. That root, I just love Spirit Arrow early. It really does catch people off guard if they're not careful.
I think Hard Bomb is actually the harder hitting ability. We're having a look at the damage numbers now. Actually, no, Spirit Arrow hitting harder by a virtue of 10 damage at base.
Yes, but also not to mention it's 90% physical power scaling, and as I mentioned, that Transcendent stacks, that's just that extra bit of power for Neath to use against the Cupid lane, even though they are the same level.
Oh, Yana sniffs out this potential guy coming out from Horizon and HS247. Templewolf, he's still watching the aggression. He's zoning Yana away from the wave completely, and this is something that you have to do against the Cupids. Make sure his potential early game, which is his best part of the game, is completely whiffed. HS247 in the Odin cage. Going to use the sash very well there, but it's actually going to anger the goal for you. Thanks to that ring toss. Richard Castle picks him up for it. Well, in the back line, only going to solo with the Talon Assault. Force it onto his horse, but a good use of Fields Alert there from Yana. Picks up the kill onto Templewolf. And also going to fall down to Maxin. Horizon going to fall down to Kikyomiya. Okay, pick up Kikyomiya in the meantime, but it's a 4 versus 1. He's not going to escape from this with his life.
Yes, and even though he does have that frostbound, as you said, 4v1, especially at 10 minutes, that's not going to be enough. And that looks like to be a free Gold Fury on the side of Direwolf. Finally getting a lead. It's only 1 kill, but with this Gold Fury, this will actually start to push them ahead as no towers have fallen yet.
Yeah, it was a great fight there coming out from both teams, but unfortunately for Sync Gaming, we just couldn't find enough damage to take down the main targets. Good switches coming out from Direwolves to say who was in the front line doing damage, who was in the back line, make sure they're dealing damage from a safe distance. And Sync Gaming, they couldn't quite do that as they were caught unawares by the rotation of Early Solo coming in from the back line.
Yes, and now we have a look at our graphs. It's now starting to look like the old story from last game with a 4,500 XP lead as well as a 2,200 gold difference. However, this game is very much still Sin's, and they need to be careful because Sin is on your tail, Direwolves.
Oh, Horizon taking a bird bomb damage there. Also going to be taunted by Richard Castle. Stun from Agni is going to be good. The Odin cage comes down as well. It's going to be one to Ymir. Even though he's activated his sprint, he's still just going to fall down eventually. Good wall, but it's not enough as shield wall. Well, that goes through walls.
Yes, and also not to mention the fact, with Kikyomiya, that Pythagorean's piece actually gives Athena this magical power that normally she wouldn't have.
He's going to look for the taunts of the Agony. Good use of the bird bomb there as well. Up into the air goes HS247. He's taken up Maxim with him, and it may look to fall there, but Agony proccing his drums of war too early there.
And also, I think Richard Castle was able to block the World Weaver. I think that was definitely aimed for Maxim, but Richard Castle, that's a pretty big character model on the side of Athena, just able to completely stop the World Weaver and keep Maxim alive to allow him to get further ahead. He's already built into a Spirit Robe and is looking to possibly build into the Winged Blade to deal with a slow that coming out from both Ymir as well as Donkey.
For me, that shows a bit of lack of practice on the character of Raijin for Agony, considering he activated his ultimate the second HS247 went up into the air with Maxim. Meaning by the time HS247 and Maxim came back down, Agony could only use 1 shot from his ultimate before he was out of it due to time constraints.
Yes, usually though, like what you see is, as you said, like if he is able to get it off afterwards, it's kind of like a Ryle, because the old combo before Raijin existed a while ago when Ryle was actually somewhat popular. What you would see is you'd see a Nezha ultimate, possibly Athena on your team as well, and then as they're landing down, you either use something like a Kraken or you use Ra Searing Pain, and that would just completely melt them. But with Raijin's Tycho drums, you kind of need to wait till afterwards, and then hopefully you can get them in that taunt form with the two.
And just to go back to the point, Ra, not popular, he's ridiculous right now, I'm sorry. You
Yes,
can keep your passive online for 15 seconds, you can keep it online forever now that it's 15 seconds.
Yes, that doesn't matter if an Odin cages you, jumps on top of you and you're dead, that doesn't make a difference. Immobile healers on this meta really just don't have a place anymore. The Hells, the Aphrodites, they are no longer wanted. Over in the duo lane though, Defender Olympus popped onto Yada.
And now the mid lane, tier 1 falls, Direwolves, they're going to take down the first tower of the game, although it wasn't like portraying of Sync Gaming, as you can see the right hand side tier 1, that looks like it may fall down to minions, but the wave meets them up just in time.
Yes, and now Ogre looking for a kill onto Agony. Agony does have the Thunder Crash if he wants to be careful and does use it to get away. That Thunder Crash also does apply meds. World Weather coming onto Ogre, but he does Purification it.
And now the regression onto Kikiamiya from 4K. Looking to just turn around and try and protect his backline. He's only going to find his way into the fight. Up into the air goes Maxon with HS247. Comes crashing down. He took only good at solo up, unfortunately. And Agony picks him up. Maxon forced to stop his back by that ring toss. Richard Castle going to be the next one to fall. Agony picks up a double kill. Yada solos down Templewolf. Finds a revenge solo kill.
Yes, and now Sin Gaming looking to take this tier 1 tower in the mid lane. Getting extremely low, able to pick up the kill on Kikiamiya. Kikiamiya, that little bit of dot passive there, finishing off Agony. And now, Maxon is looking for blood.
He's bought teleport, so he's got Blink and teleport as his two actives. And it was a good teleport there to defend the tier 1 in mid. But given he doesn't have a shell, given he doesn't have something else, like a sprint. There's no sprints coming out right now from Direwolves, and against a god like Ymir and against a god like Osiris is building up Frostbite Hammer, that's very dangerous.
I'm more worried about the fact that HS247 hasn't started building crit yet. Usually, I understand that crit isn't popular in this meta, but you would think that you would want to be critting as early as possible and as hard as possible early with that sash as well as the Windfire Wheels, just because 2 of your abilities will be doing crit. 2.
Yeah, and he's going to go into the Wing Blade, which I kind of do agree with, per se, simply because it gives him health, gives him CC reduction, gives him movement speed, allow him to rotate around these fights a bit more faster. But I definitely would have liked to have seen a Deathbringer.
Yeah, I feel... But the thing is...
Oh, Yada getting soloed here by Templewolf.
Yada getting extremely low.
Oh, but a good sanctuary there.
Coming through that. World Weaver... Oh my, that was very close to Yada falling there. The World Weaver nearly killed him.
Yeah, the World Weaver almost doing the dirty work there for him, but a good sanctuary. That's going to be down for the next 150 seconds, whilst Temple's ultimate, the World Weaver, are going to be down for the next 90, so aggression going to come back on, but over the back, Maxon looking for the damage onto Temple, finds the good Raven Shout. Lunge is going to be good. The backflip, though, it's going to be enough. Maxon looking for the cage, but it's just out of range.
Yes, that was a very smart play by Temple. Instead of using that backflip, which Maxon would have wanted, because then he could have just launched on top of her instead, using that Raven Shield launch combo. Instead, popped the sprint and then waited for the launch to come out and then to use the backflip to ensure she would be safe under tower. Over in the solo lane, we see Fonke getting fairly low. There's Ogre. That heal is really starting to become even more potent now, and Fonke being forced to back.
There's an idea. If Maxon had sprint there instead of teleport, he would have gotten that kill. See, I'm always right.
And now over in the dual lane though, HS247 forced to use that Windfire Wheels aggressive and defensively, sorry.
Yeah, it's just super aggression coming out here from Maxon on that Odin. Good blink with the Raven Shout really means that HS247 eats that damage and all of it, or uses Windfire Wheels defensively. Opposite to take the less damage. We're going to go back to base anyway, meaning it's just a free ultimate there from Direwolves, and now they're going to aggress onto this Gold Fury. Horizon does not have blink available. It's only level 11, so it doesn't have that second relic. Just has to try and walk into this Gold Fury pit, but Richard Castle is going to be there for the zone.
Yes, and Richard Castle getting a beautiful taunt there onto Templewolf, and now the fire bombs are raining down.
There you go, Maxon just going around the back of Templewolf, make sure he's going to catch him in the cage. Going to pick up Richard Castle. Templewolf going to fall down into Maxon in the cage in the backline. 4K killing Yada in the front line. Now Kikiamiya forced to run away. He's going to have to take a very awkward path if he's going to escape from this. Kikiamiya with a good dash, good Noxious Suit to help create the zone. Then he needs to try and get away, but now they're turning their attention to Maxon, the juggler. Good freeze from Horizon, good night sweep. Prince Agony picks up a second kill of his fight.
However, even though 3 have fallen on the side of Direwolves, 1 did fall on the side of Sin, and a tier 2 going the way of Guan Yu.
And now they're going to send 4K back. It's only going to solo. He's channeling his inner Loki as he's continuing the split push. They haven't sent anybody back here as Kikiamiya falls down to HS247 underneath the tier 1. One's backed just yet. Only going to solo could continue to pressure this. Instead, he realizes everybody is no longer on the map. They're probably back now. He's going to back off. Waves completely pushed up against that Phoenix.
However, Horizon does need to be careful as Athena does have that preemptive strike if he wants to catch her out. Now with everyone backing, Fonke just looking to clear up the mess that was the tier 1 tower. Ogre has now teleported in.
And now he's going to look to kill this Mia, but a good sword from Richard Castle after that freeze. Maxon over Horizon's head. Just goes ahead and kills him.
Horizon there staying just a little bit too long. Think he could clear that tower with just himself and Raijin. Sadly, you can't apply Frostbite to a tower, so there is not much you're going to be doing there.
And there we go. This tier 1 on the left-hand side is going to fall. They found themselves quite a few objectives. Only 2 towers remain for them to take down. Meanwhile, Sin Game, we still have the full complement of 6 to take down. And now Temple getting aggressed on again. He can also use his purification. The backflip is going to be good, but over the with Odegaard solo killing him. Agony gonna kill Odegaard solo. Direwolves have destroyed the Gold Fury. Yada taking that down by himself. The cage comes out. Trying to zone him. Maxon. They're hit by the Lord of the Afterlife versus Richard Castle. Rotation of Kikyo, Mio, and Yada to try and create the pincer movement on Bonke.
And now Bonke getting stunned out there by the firebomb from Agony, and now he's just gonna have to just rotate back, farm up again. These team fights are now going more and more the way of Direwolves. Even though the kills scored doesn't look like it, Direwolves in these last team fights have been doing an incredible job just outnumbering and outmaneuvering them, especially with that beautiful Gold Fury sneaking there by Yada. As once Cupid hits that level 18 mark, he already has the RC, already has the shin size, and has the heart if he wants to heal up.
So kills are not everything in Smite, and you can see that coming out to full effect right now. Sin Gaming may have the kill lead, but they do not have the objective lead whatsoever. They do not have the gold or experience lead. We take a look at the graphs, as you said. 5,000 gold, 6,500 experience. Gaming looked to be falling into the same traps as they did last game, as Kiki gets hit by that Wolverine ultimate. Even though it's waiting for Richard Castle, Horizon blows him up.
However, Fonke is caught in that cage. Maxon getting the defender limits put onto him, and that is going to be one dead Fonke. He absolutely melted.
And now Horizon, he could be the next one to melt as the Frost Jab. No, they're going to turn their attention to Maxon. Good CC shade coming out. Over the wall he goes. But Temple finds him with the Unravel, catching him where he lands. And Yada, even though that feels a lot, didn't do enough damage. Oh, Edge's doing some with Max and Rage Whip by Wheels. He's going to take a toe shot for his trouble and fall down. Yada taking so much damage from Agony. One more hit from the Tycho Shrubs. Not going to be able to find it out of range. Agony going to take a lot of damage. Going to sort of good freeze by Horizon to help protect his mid laner.
And now all they have left is Temple and Horizon as Agony is forced to back. Ogre applying a massive amount of damage on both Horizon and Temple with that Tower Assault, shredding the protections that Ymir holds so dear. Yada kind of just sitting around waiting to see if someone goes out of position. Even though he's pretty low, he might possibly be able to pick up a kill there, but no, he's just going to be starting to clear wave. Having a look at the player damage charts, we see that Kikyo Ymir has been doing a great job this game on the Agony, getting 1900 player damage. The closest one being Agony on the right, and he's actually been doing a fairly good job. Even though we said earlier he might not have been using that Tiger Drums fully effectively, it still just does so much damage, followed closely by the Neath on Temple Wolves.
Yeah, well, it's not his main burst potential, and that comes out of the Raichu Thunder Crash combination. Or if he does want to use the Thunder Crash aggressively, he can sort of use his Percussive Storm, or even a basic attack, or maybe even the Tycho Drums if he manages to get that on-hit effect procs. So it's a lot of burst damage coming out from that Raichu. It's going to be complemented by the fact that he's got the Chronos Pendant, meaning it's going to be up a lot more often, as well as the Obsidian Shard, giving him 33% physical penetration. He's got a lot of penetration right now, does Akane? Just realized.
Yes, and also he's built that Dynasty Hair Clone, so he's also, with that, he's got that from that, as well as the physical protection which he will need. Even just because if you can get off that Thunder Crash and get off on low health, that is a win. Because with Maxon and sorry.
Well, don't forget, Raijin is one of those few mages out there right now that has scaling magical and physical protections greater than that of regular mages. He joins the ranks of Zhonghui and Freya and Hades in that regard.
Yes, but I don't consider Hades a mage. Even though they've reclassified him, he's still a guy. I mean, they've done nothing to change his stats, and I don't see it. Over in the Doe lane, they are now, Direwolves are now looking for that tier 2 tower to take down the final second last tower of Sin Gaming's defenses.
Oh, gonna be hit by that ring toss as well as that sash. Yada gonna be taking so much damage here. Horizon picks him up in the backline with a glacial strike. In the cage he goes with the shouts of ice. Maxon taking so much damage up to the air. He goes. Richard Castle gonna be falling down to Temple Wolf. And now Maxon gonna be next on the fall. Double kill for Temple Wolf, and Sin Gaming turned this fight around in their favor. It's just 7 very, very low. He's gonna have to go back to base or just look to farm up the jungle with his Mumba's Mask. The rest of the members of Direwolves is just Kikyo and Odegaard solo, and Odegaard solo is already back to Kikyo farming the rep up by himself. Nothing they can do to defend this tier 1 in mid, and that's gonna fall.
Yes, Sin Gaming finally able to get that first tower, and this game they've done a real. I'm going to compliment them, Sin Gaming. We were very harsh on them in that first game. They just completely dominated this game. They've done an extremely good job to try their best to stay in tow with Direwolves.
And yeah, now they're going to try and pressure this tier 2 in mid. But good defense coming out from Odegaard solo and Kikyo means they can't quite break the bank just yet. But the bank of Gold Fury is about to respawn. 28 seconds till its doors open for hungry customers to try and take its glory.
Well, we already see that Direwolves have twice dipped into that fortune of gold, and now I'm actually more interested to see a Fire Giant fight. Gold Fury is starting to fall off a little bit now, as most people are starting to actually finish off their 5th and 4th items. I would really like to see a Fire Giant fight, like a bait, especially from Direwolves. If they get a good bait on Fire Giant, they can just win the game from there.
Yeah, so you have to think, though, that they do have this lead. It's been cut down to only 2,000 gold by Sync Gaming. If they lose the Fire Giant with an ill-timed call, then Sync Gaming are back in this, and then themselves are in the driver's seat. And Direwolves, they don't want that. They want to make sure they have a significant enough gold lead before they attempt the Fire Giant.
Fonke teleporting in, spotting out that they are grouping for that Gold Fury, looking to see if they can actually try and prevent the Gold Fury. However, Richard Castle getting a beautiful taunt there.
That was good freeze by Horizon, stopping the aggression from Maxon on the back line. 4K and Horizon look to try and zone out. Maxon taking a lot of damage from that. The taunt part of the Taiko Trumps. Good wall there from Horizon. Stops the dash coming out from Oligan and Solo. And Maxon trying to get away middle of the back line. 4K zoning, but not to great effect. It's to grave effect as he dies. Up in the air, Concentrics 247 kills. Kikyo Mio. He's not going to be stopping his back, but Richard Castle is going to have this retreat path cut off. He's going to fall down here. And who's going to get this kill? It's going to be Templewolf.
However, over by the Gold Fury, we do see Maxon lurking behind. So if they want to try and get a sneaky gank off, Odin is looking. He does have the blink online.
Oh, Agony. Potentially, he's giving the game away by telling them they know he's there. Could have potentially just waited until he went aggressive. Horizon going to be taking a bit of damage from that Burble, but he's a very tanky mid, but he does get H 7 caught in this cage. Good use of Sanctuary to avoid some damage, but it's going to be enough. No, it's not. Only going to solo with the dash just before the cage falls down.
I don't know. Do you think that was like I don't know. Like that was really hard to tell if the cage had fallen in time. But I'm most likely going to tend to agree with you there. And that is now the 4th kill there for Guan Yu, as well as another bit of pass. I'm pretty sure he's already got at least 6 stacks on that Odin. There's been so much team fighting. I'd be surprised if he didn't have at least 6.
He does have exactly 6 stacks. Warrior Talbot giving him 40 physical power, and you can see on his player he's got 70. With each stack giving 5, that's 30 on his. That's 30 from his passive, so that's 6 stacks.
Yes, and also, as we saw in that last team fight, Fonke had a very rough team fight going up against Yada, and that is the Shin Slice doing its work. Shin Slice doesn't really care about protections, it's all designed to hit maximum health, 4% at each basic attack. So that is what's going to be shredding Fonke down. Even though he has those damage mitigations, he has those protections, that means nothing to Yada.
Right now, Templewolf actually doesn't have any lifesteal underneath. He does have the Unravel to help him sustain in fights, but it's no acid, which Yada does have, giving him an extra 15 pen, which does affect Keen size.
Yes, also not to mention the fact, like, once you get low, it gives you that extra little pick-me-up in lifesteal that you need. So just keep it, if he gets low, because of Fonke, because of Neja using that Windfire Wheels, if he's good enough, he can just fall back that tiny bit, land a couple of auto attacks, and already be back basically to 3/4 health.
I'm sorry, but 40% lifesteal is just ludicrous on a Hunter, considering most of them have a steroid, which will mean that they're basically attacking twice every second and just lifestealing 40% of that. But 4K going to be receiving massive damage from Kikyo Mio after a triple taunt there from Richard Castle. Comes from Ring of Spears as well as Fields of and Shots of Ice. Yada picks the Matrix 247. Horizon going to be the next one to fall inside the Oda cage. Onagal is solo. Going to be taking up Templewolf. And now it's all turning on to Agony. He's going to be in a lot of pain himself. One more damage source should do it. Over the top with Maxon. Onagal picks it up, and that's a deicide. Because out of nowhere for Direwolves, they can take down this tower. They're going to push down the left-hand side, get this Phoenix. They could potentially end here.
I wouldn't be surprised if they ended that basically almost all level 20. Cupid is on his base, finishing off that Titan's Bane from the looks of things. That could be GG. The next person to be up will be Fonke, but I don't think it'll be enough as they do start at the Titan as it starts to fall down.
Richard Castle leading the charge in. Titan at 5,000 HP. 4K, 3 seconds to spawn. It's not going to be enough. GG's as Direwolves pick up this second game from a seemingly inconspicuous fight around the Gold Fury pits. They push down that left-hand side. They take the Phoenix. They take the Titan. They take this series 2-0.
Great job there by Direwolves. Sin Gaming, they had a very good performance in that second match. They weren't as tilted as what may have happened if they really got that pressure, let the pressure get to them. But they knew this was their final game of the OPL and they wanted to go out in style. Great play by both Direwolves and Sin.
And also mention that Direwolves, the Direwolves really puts pressure on whoever they're going to face into the relegations. Because that performance, it's hard to point weaknesses at it. There were, of course, a couple of weaknesses there, but we do have our player interview of the game. It's going to be Yada from Direwolves. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, thanks. Yourself?
I'm not too bad after watching that game. I'm going to have to start off with this. Talk to me about Cupid.
Yeah, Cupid's really good. I don't know where all this confusion's coming from.
Well, it's just, he doesn't really fit into the meta as a stronger ADC than some of the other ones like Chiron. He doesn't have the greatest of late games, apart from in his team fight, which similar to a Medusa, I suppose. But